Hello, everyone, and thanks for watching. We are Lee and Sherry with Relationship Reinvented, also known as Lois and Clark.
Oh, well, my favorites.
The reason we're doing this video is because Relationship Reinvented isn't all about the twin flame connection. It's actually about all relationships, different types of relationships, family relationships, co-worker relationships, romantic relationships without the twin flame dynamic. And if you're interested in learning more about the twin flame dynamic, you can find us at twinflames.me. But we do a lot of coaching, a lot of teaching and guiding through all relationships. So we didn't want to just focus on the twin flame dynamic. And so we have asked some questions, and we're going to be doing this every week. So you can put your questions out there, and you can find us on relationshipreinvented.com, Relationship Reinvented on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter at rreinvent. You can find us on Google Plus. Where else are we?
I think you got it.
That's it.
Yeah, I think you pretty much got it all.
Yeah.
That time. Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right. And we're going to go ahead and just get started with your questions. And the more questions that come through, the better. You can join our Facebook group at Relationship Reinvented on Facebook and just post your questions there.
Or you can email us.
Email us. Yes, definitely email us.
RelationshipReinvent@me.com.
See, I didn't cover it all.
Well, there it is.
Right.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and get started. And we have Dear Lois and Clark. My life is a mess. Does anyone know which way is up? I got this.
Okay.
It's that way.
Wow.
And moving on. Actually, there's more to that question.
Okay. And
But do you know the answer to that?
Do I know which way is up?
Mm-hmm.
When you're asking a specific question, it sounds like what she's trying to find is where's the bright side to what she's experiencing. And that therein lies the question. What you have inside you is going to either tell you what's great about it or tell you what's bad about it. When you gravitate more to what's bad about it, it really does start to become the question, which way is up? You have to go back and remember what it was that made you feel good in the first place. As you go through a thought process of things that are happening to you, good or bad, how much time do you spend in the good? That would be where you really have to focus most of your energy.
Agreed.
So that would be where up is.
Yeah. But the second part to her question is, should I stay? Should I go?
Should I stay or should I
Yeah,
go?
there it is. There it is. Should I hang on, fight for him? What should I do? We kind of need a little bit more information on the background, because if he's following you around with a gun, you should probably go.
If you find that you are going to have to fight for anything, make sure that it's something you feel deeply inside first, because you got to fight for yourself first. If you don't fight for yourself first, how are you going to find the proper way to fight for him? And it really, does that make sense?
Makes perfect
Because
sense.
you think about how you can fight for somebody, and then you might start picking out of your arsenal ways to get back at them, or ways to attack them, or ways to attack another person. And that truly never really shows, hey, yes, come to me with your arms wide open.
Right.
And they look at you and go, oh, God, you're crazy. You want to make sure that you answer this question in such a way that you need to go inside and go, okay, what am I truly fighting for, and what is it I really want this person to feel from me? More often than not, we sit and we wallow in, the pain of when somebody's left us. And then we go, come back, instead of come back. I mean, it's the way you see the energy difference and what you're going to approach. I would tell you, if you're not to the comeback stage, you're really going to need to go through it first. It's something that you need to call within yourself to be inviting from what you actually have to experience inside yourself.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Moving on.
So if that answered your question, should I stay or should I go? Well, you should just stand still.
Right,
Because
right.
if you don't know which direction you're going, you're going to make a mistake and you think maybe I should leave them, maybe I should go. What about going inside? So just go there because that's safe. That's a safe bet because you are your own love and you are your own reason for being. So you really need to go there first.
Let's fix this.
Yes, fix
Because-
the energy that comes from this.
In all honesty, he's not going to be able to give you anything you can't give to yourself.
That path is a path that needs to be taken. Okay.
Oh, do I know that path?
All right.
All right, moving on. Dear Lois and Clark. That's us.
So, Lois.
I'm Lois. I'm Lois.
Okay.
You're Clark.
Right. Okay.
My husband will not stop looking and talking to other women on the internet. He's constantly commenting on women's pictures saying, "You're hot," etc. What should I do?
Well, if he's commenting on certain things like that, first of all, it sounds like the communication between you both is non-existent. If he's able to talk to other women freely like that, what is it that you're blocking him from giving to you?
Mm-hmm.
And why are you blocking yourself? More often than not, as men, we need to feel something coming to us. If we don't feel the love coming to us, we start looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily a good thing, but it is kind of really screaming for attention that he may or may not be getting. And if you are stuck in trying to understand why he's doing it, why don't you really look at it differently and say, what is it that I'm not giving myself that's attracting him to me?
To bring us back to the last thing I said for the last question is, he can't give you something you're not giving to yourself.
Yes.
And if you're feeling unattractive, if you're feeling unloved, if you're feeling not sexual, if you're feeling all these uns that we keep inside of ourselves, he's feeling that energy and it's unattractive.
Yeah, especially if you close yourself off. When you close yourself off, he's only going to be able to give you what you're giving yourself.
I feel pretty sexy right now.
Yeah, you are sexy.
See how that works? A little experiment.
You could see it. You could really could.
A little experiment right there.
Yeah.
It worked in my favor.
Okay.
So yeah, the answer to that question is find it in you. What's going on?
Find what your essence is. If you're struggling to find what that essence is, then you need to take a definite step back and have a communication with yourself. Because again, this really does lead down to how you communicate with them. Now remember, you communicate more than just using words. You're communicating with what you're feeling inside by the energy you give off. And that energy can be changed. It's really got to be you deep diving in to go, what is it that I need to change? And not for anybody else, but for yourself. Because everybody wants to feel wanted. Everybody wants to feel needed. Everybody wants to feel attractive. Everybody wants to feel loved. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the common theme of women want to be wanted and men need to be loved really does hold true. I mean, if you feel good about yourself and give yourself love, you're giving it to him. It's pretty powerful.
Yeah. And it kind of brings me back to the question, because I'm a word picker. I like to pick words, but it says husband. So there was a point in time when he found you hot. He found you attractive. He married you. He didn't marry those men or women. Oh, well, I don't know.
Right.
Women that he's talking to. So there was a point in time when he did feel these.
And you felt it in you.
Right.
And you felt it in you.
Things about you. So obviously, because you're married, even if you're not, I mean, if you're with that person, they obviously found something in you
That raises a question, though, because we talked to a lot of couples who've gotten married and then something just all of a sudden becomes missing. The thing that becomes missing is, when you go into, okay, they've accepted me, they love me for who I am and everything else. Remember, marriage is about blossoming. It's not about becoming stagnant and forgetting why you got married in the first place. Somebody should help you and add to you. And add to you whatever you're giving to yourself. That should be what gets magnified. especially in the union or the marriage or the way that you connect. When that is not there, it really directly correlates to the communication that those, and it's not really about the vows as much as it is the feeling that went into the vows that were created. Staying away from what those vows may be. If you go to the worst part and you go to the good part, you have to remember you've got to balance those out, and you've got to be able to communicate them when they're happening.
Yes.
When you don't communicate, then you're going to end up in that spot where it becomes difficult. It becomes difficult to even try to express because you've gone so far and didn't reach out for somebody's hand to help you, especially your mate.
And we know this because we did it. We didn't know how to communicate with one another. And we have come from 9 years of up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down until the past couple years, just we found the harmony in it. And but what you said was spot on. What you said was spot on. Yeah, I know. You were right. I didn't say that.
Mm-hmm. Lois, you have to remember, when we fly, I can just drop you from the sky. All right, so the next one is, why do men keep their financial issues from their wife and girlfriends? Thing about sharing, now remember, well, not really remember, but just know that we're men, and men have not been raised in an emotional mindset. We've been raised in a provider mindset. Regardless of whether we're raised by a single parent, whether we're raised by two parents, we'll gravitate more to the side that is the instinct of wanting to take care and provide. And when we fail at it, we're failing in a place where we know we shouldn't be looking for help. We're holding ourselves accountable and responsible for it. Trying to get us to talk about it is probably like pulling teeth. It's probably like
asking for directions.
Asking. So I would say that when it happens, it's not. It's very stressful. It's a lot of stress. But what really needs to happen is the talk. The talk that says, we're in this together. We should be doing this together. We should be providing together. Providing together is the key. If up until this point you've been separating and one is providing one set of thing and another's providing another, you just haven't combined them yet. And you really need to get to that place where you can communicate and combine them. Yes. Because that's really what's going to make the difference.
What is so important is sharing everything open so that both sets of eyes can see. Lee and I share everything. We have one cell phone.
Well, I think that's important.
Yeah.
But I think what's important is the communication. The communication that we had to have been not hidden.
But she should be able to go in and find out what's going on with the finances.
And you should be able to do that in front of him or not in front of him.
Right.
But you should be able to feel comfortable in doing that.
Yeah.
He should feel, and if he's not comfortable in doing that, then it's something that you need to really talk and compassionately listen to each other to understand why that barrier's in the way. And again, you can't go back after somebody's, if this is a 30-year-old man, you're not going to be able to subtly walk into this. You're going to have to really listen to where he's coming from. And if he doesn't have the words, give him time to come up with them. Don't assume anything. Don't make it something that your mind is going to tell you that this is one way, because all that's going to do is create another barrier for you to have to go through.
Get to the point where you're sharing everything.
Yeah,
I would say that's. I'm not saying you have to share a cell phone, but we just do because that's what we do. But share everything. Share Facebook passwords, email passwords, bank account passwords. Share everything.
It's funny because you gotta get to the point where you know that this person that you're with is the one you want to survive with, and the one that you want to love unconditionally. Break the conditions.
Yep, there it is. All right. My wife refuses to have sex with me. She says she doesn't enjoy it anymore. What do I do?
This one's kind of hard for us.
First and foremost,
if you know what, I think this goes back to communication again.
it does go back to communication. Why isn't she enjoying anymore? First of all, find out if it's a medical issue, or an emotional issue. Is she blocking off her sexuality because of something that's happened to her in the past, or something that she fears? Is she bored? That happens. Doesn't happen to me, but it happens. Talk to her. Communicate with her. Find out what's really going on. Find out what's going on. More times than not, it's going to be emotional, not physical.
The physical act of sex, there is an intimate part that could be that you need to explore more of, rather than the sex itself. There are so many different, countless ways that we as humans can actually connect intimately that changes the pattern of what people call sex. You have to remember, sometimes the kiss is the most important thing. Sometimes the embrace is the most important thing. There's more to just two parts to the body that you can go to. There's a whole lot more. And there's a whole lot more space to really go in and understand about the person that you love, about the person that you're connected to. And if you don't know what that is, then you're gonna struggle, and one of you may get cut off because it's just not there.
Do you know where her spots are? Do you know what makes her feel sexy? Do you know what makes her feel good? Do you know where she likes to be touched? Do you know if she prefers a little bit more foreplay than you do? Are you just jumping on it and making her feel like a piece of meat? Are you being sensual with her? These are a lot of things that you can look at and fix.
Give you an example. I know that if I come out here in jeans with no shoes or socks and a shirt and it's unbuttoned and I'm just walking around and doing my thing, I know that I've got her attention. But you don't know what you don't know. If you don't know what really catches her attention, then really you need to go there first.
Mm-hmm.
And even just if you're just walking through with just a towel on and you're focused on you, not on her. Sometimes those kinds of things are the things that really wake people up.
Pay attention.
Yeah, because it is about how you project yourself. In times, if you've had a lot of rough times, that energy is going to be very present to her. Mm-hmm. And if you don't open up and show her different kinds of energy, you're going to get just what you put into it. Right. Okay. Hopefully we answered that.
Hopefully. Moving on. Trying to move on.
Right.
My wife is very materialistic. I give her everything she wants. She just wants more stuff. Status is very important to her. I crave attention and touch. What do I do?
Everybody craves attention and touch. But have you found out what touches her? There are things beyond the material. Material is going to be a very empty thing that you can pour into somebody, and you'll find that you keep pouring more and more material, and they keep taking, and there's an emptiness that's at the spot of that's in that place, that place where they go, they get it, but then after they get it, they don't really treat it the way that you would expect them to treat it. And then you really know that there is something that's missing. But it really is going to take you deciding that, this is important to me to find out what needs to be filled in her that she can give to herself, and I should be there to support her in that, just as you would want her to support you in that. We love our toys. Don't get me wrong. Men love their toys. Women love their toys. And the thing is it's not going to be something that's going to sustain anything. So what I would do if I were you is I would really appeal to her. Appeal to what really she feels when she does get those kinds of things. But then ask her what really would be more powerful outside of something material. If you haven't even opened up that conversation, then even just asking this question really can kind of make you chase your tail for a very long time. And it will eventually cause a rift between you.
And giving her more stuff is going to be more stuff for her to take off with.
Right. It's and well, that and where's the trust?
Right.
Do you trust that you can actually have a conversation about what she really feels and what she really wants to feel from you and what she really wants to feel from the connection itself?
I would suggest stop giving her stuff for 30 days and give her you.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, you.
Yeah.
Give her you.
You know,
kiss her, hug her, dance with her, touch her, take her out on dates.
Carry her down,
right.
to breakfast and dance with her.
When I say dates, don't spend a lot of money. Do something very simple.
Yep. Something where you can actually communicate and actually have to interact. And if you have a TV in your bedroom, first mistake. Do not have a TV in your bedroom. It's like, here, let's put a TV in our bedroom. Bedrooms are for two things.
Sleeping.
Shh. Figure it out.
Sleeping.
All right.
And sleep. I hope we answered.
Or putting somebody to sleep.
There it is. I hope we answered your question, but try the 30-day thing.
I really feel that will really, it'll show you a whole lot more than you probably have not been able to see, especially if that's how you guys have been with each other. Let those changes come to you and change, the significant way that you can connect outside of it. And even in that 30 days, I would say, why not cut out the TV and just put on music? And when you guys interact, you have just music in the background.
Oh, yeah.
You'll find that you'll have
cell phones down.
For like the first day or so, you'll have dead silence, but the goal is to connect. We forget to talk to each other. We talk to each other about things like bills and what do you want and what can I get you? But what if you really had to talk about something besides those things? That's where this points.
Put the cell phones down. Talk to each other.
Yep.
Talk to each other.
Don't be walking around the house.
Yeah. So many times we'll walk into a restaurant and watch couples sitting across from each other,
texting or checking Facebook or on Instagram, and it's like
communicate. Try that.
How many times have y'all looked at each other since we here at dinner with you?
Right.
And it's like, wait, shouldn't you? I mean, do you hold his hand? Or
cell phones down.
Yeah.
For heaven's sake.
Put them away. Technology is only going to keep you away from each other, not together. It's not going to put you together. So those material things are not going to be what we need to connect. If you notice, we've even lost a lot of significant things because of these materialistic or the technology that's out there. We forget how to talk to one another. And that's really where you need the most in the connection. If you don't talk to each other, then the connection will suffer.
It's the very reason why marriages lasted so long in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, but they fought a lot.
Oh, yeah. Well, they were in it. Yeah.
But they got through it because they didn't really have anything. You didn't really have anything else to put it in. Yeah. So go back to that because it's vital. And it is a part of understanding each other. And you're going to need to practice how you communicate. That's important too. Very
much so. Switch cell phones.
Yeah, if you can make it through at least 2 hours of that, I think you might be okay for 24.
How would your relationship be if you switched cell phones with your partner for 24 hours? Well, okay, we'll talk about that later. Our last question that we have today is, me and my wife are separated. I want to go back. We've been married 25 years. However, I want to be sure things change and she realizes that it's a cycle. We have been in.
Yeah.
Things are good for a few months and then revert back to the same shit. I'm just repeating. How do I know this is, how do I trust this? How do I trust that this is going to be different? How do I know this time will be different? Well, you don't. Only you can fix it. You can't rely on your partner to fix it.
I think if you are lying to yourself and saying that because you'll have that missing feeling and you lie to yourself and tell you that it's going to be fixed this time, that lie needs to be told to the other person. You know what? I already feel that I'm going to be coming back into this because of the missing feeling, but not because we are connected and we need to learn how to communicate better to be stronger together. And when that lie sits there and it just kind of, the missing feeling becomes stronger, it really hurts the connection, and it really doesn't give the amount of time is now why you're there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like you're on a time clock to be together. You actually are not.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't really talk about it, you're going to suffer. You both will suffer. And you both will become isolated in your own way of thinking, and you're going to make each other responsible for the pain that you're going to go through. And you probably do that now and don't even realize it. And you're not even realizing that it's your pain to begin with. And you're not able to talk to them about it. You're not able to express to them about it. So, and also, you end up hiding or lying. Mm-hmm. Well, probably both, because both are the same. Mm-hmm. If you can't tell somebody how you feel or what you think, it's gonna backfire.
Be honest. Always be honest. Stand in your honesty.
And if you're not getting what you need from the connection, remember, you can't get something from a connection if you're not giving it to yourself mm-hmm. first. So if you're not able to say what's going on inside you, if you feel that you're not worthy of love, or you feel you're not worthy of having a good connection and communication with somebody else, you're only going to create the same thing that's going to keep happening. So that cycle is a cycle that you've created and you'll keep for yourself. It's really not about the other person like you might think. So mm-hmm. Even when you leave that relationship and you go into another one, that part is still going to be a part of you. So why not just figure it out now and communicate the way you should?
Right. Don't make your partner responsible for your happiness.
Exactly.
That's very important. Don't make your partner responsible for your happiness. Write that down.
Yes. And the other part is, 25 years or, you've been here for 50 years. You still had 25 years without this person. And that part that you think, okay, yeah, I healed from that. Maybe not so much. Maybe that's something that you can talk about in your communication. Because those things, those layers come up if you've been with somebody a very long time. And then you get that, oh, that's just the way they are. But you're not really saying, okay, that's just the way they are. But what am I saying about myself when I say that's just the way they are? You need to look at what you're saying about yourself mm-hmm. And how you're producing the energy that you're getting back. If you think that this person's set in their ways, then, well, maybe you are too. Maybe that's what you really need to look at. Are you set in your own ways? Mm-hmm. Then you just go in and go, you know what? I've been set in this way of being. And I don't want that for myself anymore. Mm-hmm. Not about the other person, but about you. Mm-hmm. So make this something that you change because you know that that's the right path for you both to go in. Make this about the love that you both feel about each other, but don't hold yourself hostage thinking that you have to stay there because of time. Right. Because time really is only going to keep ticking, and really what you're feeling is only going to still be there. You need to go into what it really feels like and then really express it. And just trust and believe that you're doing the right thing when you stand in that truth.
That's why I love you. Relationships don't necessarily have to be all this mess. You can live in a harmonious, drama-free existence. We do it. It's a constant honeymoon stage. It's getting to a place where you feel like you first met all the time.
Well, we do.
Yeah,
we do first meet. Every morning we wake up.
Butterflies every day. I feel butterflies in my stomach when I wake up to him every morning. When I see him in his jeans walking across the floor, butterflies. This should be gone by now, right? It doesn't have to be gone by now.
Who told? Somebody created that. Somebody said, mm-hmm. "Oh, you're just in that space where you were in the honeymoon phase and now you're not."
Yeah.
Where did we learn that from?
Right.
Who did that come from? Because if you think about it, what they were telling you is no, you're going to be set in a mind pattern that's going to keep you locked away mm-hmm. from that person and never having that feeling again. Mm-hmm. Who are they to tell you that you can't experience it forever? Who are they to tell you that you cannot experience being new with the person that you want to be with for the rest of your life? They're telling you that you're going to stay the same. That's not the truth at all. And then you think you have to step out because that's what you learned.
Right. And we haven't been riding on fairy wings the whole 9 years. Let me tell you, we haven't. We've been through it all. You name it, and we've been through unimaginable scenarios, and there's so much unconditional love and forgiveness and trust. It can happen. It does happen. And we're here to help you. And we are Lee and Sherry, also known as Lois and Clark, and we're going to be doing this Dear Lois and Clark segment every week. So please send in your questions, and we'll definitely get them answered right here on the air.
Yes.
We are Relationship Reinvented, life and relationship coaching. So if you
Love life
and yes, and
Love.
business, we do business coaching as well.
Yes. Because believe me, there's a whole lot of leadership that needs to look at in here.
Definitely. And but you can find us again at relationshipreinvented.com. You can email us at relationshipreinvent.me. I did it! Yay! And we would love to hear from you, and can't wait to hear your questions and find the fun answers for you.
Yes. Thank you guys very much for being with us today.
Thank you for watching.
We'll talk to you soon.
Starts in my toes and I crinkle my nose. Wherever it goes, I always know that you make me smile.